What's going on? This is the Tour Junkies After Dark show presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, the lead host, the driver of the ship, the person driving the car. This guy over here to my left, I don't know if that's where it looks on your screen, but in my screen it's to my left. He's the passenger. He is the shotgun rider, and I'm the leader of this whole ship. So guess what? That's what's going to happen. So yeah, Tour Junkies After Dark. We're going to talk about the Travelers Championship this week. And David, I know you're on vacation. How are you feeling, man? Are you feeling good? You look relaxed with the pillow behind you and everything. I'm sure you got a little drink there. I mean, you feeling good?
I'm feeling very relaxed, Pat. Thank you. I always love connecting with you on vacation when you have to take over host responsibilities. I enjoy watching I enjoy watching you stretch it out a little bit, stretching the muscle there. I'm doing well. I am on vacation. I'm in Hilton Head, and it's been a lovely time. I hate that I didn't get to catch the podcast with you, but I do know that the podcast was quite amazing with our friend and PGA Tour caddy, Gino Bonelli. So I would love for you to start off by telling me and the viewers here a little bit about not only TPC River Highlands, but also the pod with Gino Bonelli.
Yeah, so it's a great pod. Gino is a great dude, just a lot of fun. Had some decent insight on the course. I will say this: I feel like caddies are just week to week, and like literally, he forgot certain aspects about the course. I'm like, you didn't realize this, or I think they're just kind of so focused on everything, so you don't get quite the insight that you might think you might get out of a tour caddy. But that's okay. But talking about TPC River, you got a comment there? Do you want to make, David?
No comment. Continue.
All right. Well, you seemed a little confused there. Anyway, so TPC River Highlands, par 70, playing just over 6,800 yards. This is one of the, again, we've had we had the Pebble Beach course that was short, another course this week that's short. You got 8 par 4s here that play between 400 and 450 yards. So I looked at that. I looked at par 4 scoring when it comes to that distance. A couple par 5s on this course. They're both they averaged under par last year, so you can score there. So, but the course is pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. I'm going to be looking at scores this week, looking at opportunities gained. That's going to be a huge stat for me. Guys that are putting themselves in position to score. Definitely course history. Bubba Watson has won here 3 freaking times. What do we see with Bubba? When you look at Bubba, he is a guy that plays well on courses that he just feels comfortable on. So that, to me, it brings out the course history here. That is a key. So I look at course history, also recent form. Now, I'm not saying I'm playing Bubba. I may be, if you listen to the podcast. But I do like course history. I think that's going to be big this week. So there you go. Going to be, quick greens. They run pretty quick here. POA greens, they were bent, and they switched them out, put a little POA in there. It's kind of a mix. But as Gino said on the podcast last year, he thought they were running a lot quicker than they were the year before. So I think that changed things a little bit. So there you go. David, you probably don't have it. You had zero thoughts, I'm sure, on this course as you're on vacation.
Well, first of all, you're looking rather dewy tonight. It must have been a rigorous podcast with Gino.
When I have to do everything, it's very tough.
You're very oily.
I'm stressed. I've been doing this a lot. And so it's just, that's why the hair is like it is.
So, I mean, what did you get out of Gino? What did Gino say is important in terms of playing this golf course well? I mean, is it a lot like what we saw here at Pebble, where it's kind of a, fairways and greens?
He didn't really give me anything there.
He gave you nothing? Well, why do we have him on the show?
He didn't have his yardage book because he was looking for his yardage book from last year, and he forgot it. So Gino forgot. He's kind of like me. He can be forgetful at times, so he forgot the yardage book. So yeah, he didn't really give me a whole lot there when it came to the course.
So what did he really bring to the table tonight?
laughs and just being a good dude. Funny.
Okay. Did he make any picks? Did he have any picks that you were
He
interested in?
he had a few that I was interested in. That was about it.
Who were some of his picks?
I will say this. I will, so I was not, I could fade the top guys over 10K. That was sort of my premise on where we started. You and I give our picks over 9K or whatever else. I didn't really like any guys here in the over 10K. Now I like them. I can't say I hate them, but there weren't guys that I was really going to play all that much. But he likes some Molinari, and he asked me about Molinari because I didn't mention him. I don't like the price for him. I think that's a little bit too pricey. You look at his history here; he hasn't really done all that much. He was 47th here in 2016, T25 in 2015. As far as the stats are concerned, he's gonna. A short course is gonna be good for him, but he's 83rd in opportunities gained, which is a stat that I like this week as far as scoring is concerned. So not checking the box there. He's 93rd in par 5 scoring. So the 2 par 5s here are very easy. You should score on those. And he's just not on average scoring on par 5. So I feel like Molinari is I don't know, just don't want to pay that price for him this week.
Do we have any insight into why Brooks is here? Why is he playing this week?
I don't know.
Is he sponsored by Travelers?
No, he's not. But maybe he has relatives in Connecticut and he wants to see him this week.
I cannot believe he's even in the field.
Are you just now looking at the field?
No. I looked at it earlier, but I gotta say I kind of skipped over a lot like you. I skipped over this 10K range. And I didn't really pay much attention.
You want to play a Koepka at 11.8?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm just wondering why he's here.
Maybe he's attempting to show people that he can actually play well in a regular tour event, which I don't think is going to happen.
I don't mind the Molinari play, actually. I think it's TPC River Highlands is a good spot for him.
Let me give you real quick. We're going to talk screw Molinari. I'm going to give you my top 3 GPP plays, my cash, and my fade. And I want you to just poke holes in this because that's what you do.
I do that all the time. Yep.
Right. So my GPPs are JT, going to be low owned. I know he's sucked lately, but I just can't quit him. Paul Casey is my cash and a GPP play. He plays excellent. He's been fantastic here on this course. He hasn't finished outside the top 5, and when he had a T17 in 2016. Other than that, 3 straight years inside the top 5. So I like Casey, cash, and GPP. Leishman, by the way, I think is going to be a sneaky play this week at 9,100. I like him. Has a good history here as far as the stats are concerned. He checks the box in ball striking. He's outside of that is maybe a little bit of questionable, but I think he's just kind of a play. I think he's a play, but I like him. And then my fade is going to be Fleetwood. I just haven't seen anything out of Fleetwood that has shown me that he can do anything right now. He's not playing that well. He barely made the cut at the U.S. Open. Everybody loves to play some Fleetwood. He's never played this course before. When you look at the stat categories, he's 69th in opportunities gained. He's 60th in par 5 scoring. I'm not a big fan of Fleetwood this week, so he's going to be my fade. So I know your first stop is going to be Leishman, but outside of that, what are your hateful thoughts on that?
I don't have a whole lot of hateful thoughts there. I think fading the top tier in the 10K and above range makes sense here this week. Although I do think Molinari is interesting. JT is tough. He kind of burned some of my lineups last week for the U.S. Open. Clearly not all there at the moment. And I think if there's anyone to fade in this tier, it is not Fleetwood. It is Bryson DeChambeau. I know he had a better U.S. Open than Tommy Fleetwood. I think in terms of consistency, I still think Fleetwood is the more consistent player, ball striker. I know we haven't seen much of him since the Players Championship and a couple months ago. It feels like now. So, but I still think in terms of fairways and greens, there's not many better than Tommy Fleetwood. Don't care that he hasn't played this course before. I don't hate the Paul Casey play. I don't hate the Leishman play. So I think, I think I would lean Casey. For me, I'd lean like Casey, Fleetwood, and maybe Finau. I kind of like Finau in this range. Did you guys talk about him at all or no?
Did not talk about Finau, but I agree with you. I'm a fan of his this week.
What are you going to do with course history Bubba? What's Gino's take on Bubba?
I mean, he didn't really give a whole lot on Bubba. He was actually surprised that he won here 3 times. That was the biggest takeaway.
That was news to Gino?
He did not even realize that he had won here 3 times. So,
Okay.
I gave him some information there. So he did not know that. But I like Bubba actually. I don't mind him this week. Look, he's a guy.
Okay, sorry, can I interrupt? Are you on? I'm going to skip down. This is TJ After Dark. We got to go quick. Are you on Victor Hovland at 7,900? The Oklahoma State boy turning pro this event. Everybody's raved about him. He played fantastic at the U.S. Open. Really talented guy. Seems like a wonderful human being as well. Are you interested in Victor Hovland? Did you guys discuss him at all?
We did a little bit. Again, Gino was here more for the entertainment and didn't get a whole lot of insight there. But I think Victor's look. I think he led the field in strokes gained off the tee at the U.S. Open, and it was by a long shot. He drove the ball absolutely fantastic, unreal. He is ready for the tour. So I think if you want to play him, I mean, go ahead and play him. I don't think I will. I just don't know. I mean, it's his first tour event. 7,900, by the way, I feel like is a little bit too high for him for his first ever tour event. I just don't know if I'm going to do that, but I can't hate you for doing it. I mean, he just finished top 15 in the U.S. Open as an amateur, but I don't know. And I think actually, I feel like he's going to get a lot of talk this week.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get some ownership in a guy that's never played a tour event as a pro where you actually have to make money and you got to think about those kind of things. I don't know if I want to play him at 7,900, but I think he's going to be a stud, absolute stud. I have no doubts after seeing him and his perma-smile self, doing whatever he did last week. But anyway.
He definitely has a grin about him.
He could have a frown on his face, and it would look like a smile permanently.
Good. That's hard-hitting analysis from Pat Perry. Any low-end guys you boys talked about that you like? You want to?
So a couple. Well, we talked about, of course, Gino caddies for Joel Damon. So we talked about Joel. He did feel good about Joel actually, even after that U.S. Open. The missed cut. He finished.
Got to say that, yeah.
Well, the last 9 holes he played 2 under par on a difficult course. So a difficult test. He felt good about his confidence. That was one thing we talked about on the show was these players and their confidence level, and when that kicks in and like what he sees and like there's so many different things like and this is really comes into a recent form kind of deal where you have guys that just all of a sudden it clicks and you want to be on those guys when they've got that good recent form. And Joel was one of the he said even though he missed the cut, he saw something on that back 9 that kind of clicked with Joel, and it was something that made him want to take him if he was going to pick him in this tournament. Now he kind of backed off a little bit because obviously that's his man, but I had a good feeling that Joel was somebody that Gino liked this week. Dropping down a little bit below that though, I did like a little bit of Peter Malnati, who Gino liked as well. Gino liked him as well. And you know what? He's made his last 4 cuts with he was T40 at the Charles Schwab. He was T17 at the Memorial. He was T31 at the RBC Canadian. So he's been playing extremely well, and he played well last year as well. Here he had a top 30 finish. Checks some boxes here. So I think that Peter Malnati, bucket hat guy. He wears a bucket hat, by the way, just like Joel Damon does. Could be a sneaky play. Maybe we should get into some gambling picks.
All right, yeah, because I can't stand that pick. What you got for DK Sportsbook?
All right, so am I giving all the picks, or do you have anything? Like, am I just
You're
doing?
pretty much giving all of them.
Okay, so I'm going to start off short on the short end, and the shortest guy I'm going to go with is Tony Finau at 33-1. I love that. I love that play. You know, Finau just last week, I just don't think it was a great fit for him. But, you know, we've seen at this course, you know, Bubba Watson can win, a long hitter, and then a Kevin Streelman can win in 2014. But I think that fits that sort of Tony Finau style. So I mean, look, he's not the shorter hitter, but the guy can bomb it off the tee. This is a good fit for him. So I like him at 33-1. Also, one of my favorite plays and Gino's favorite plays on the podcast was Emiliano Grillo, and he is at 40-1. I love that. You know, Gino talked about how just a fantastic ball striker he is, and if he can just catch fire with the putter, he can win any week on tour. And you know what? We know how variable putting stats are and everything else. You can hit that any week. So I like Grillo at 40-1. Also, another favorite of both mine and Gino's was Charlie Hoffman at 70-1. Love that play. I think this is a great course for him. He's played well here in the past, checks the boxes, so I love some Charlie Hoffman. Two other guys that I like are Bud Colley at 90-1, a guy that just kind of pots here and there, and I think this is a course. He played well at the Memorial. I think this is somewhat of a similar course, and I think he'll play well here. And then I got to go with Joel Damon at 125-1. I cannot have Gino on the podcast and not take Joel Damon at 125-1. I'd want to shoot myself in the face on Sunday if he won the tournament and I didn't Joel, you know, as a bet. So there you go.
You know, and it's just people should bet more on golf. They just should. You know, on Sunday, I'm sweating Chez Reavie, who we picked and touted last week on the show, at 250-1, and he finished third. Okay, and there are people who are sweating, you know, NFL parlays at 30-1. And I just think golf betting is where it's at. It is so variable. You can get these intermediate to long shot guys. And I think Joel Damon is due to win on the PGA Tour. I think some of these other guys you talked about are good plays as well. I like the Finau call in a weak field. He hasn't been playing that great, but you know, if he can get a hot putter, I think he could run away with it. He's one of those guys that just has that much talent. And so if you're not betting on the PGA Tour and you're betting on, you know, NFL and NBA and God forbid Major League Baseball for whatever reason, you're missing out on a sweat that is just as good, and I think you're more likely to hit in terms of long shots. So fantastic stuff there, Pat. I appreciate you filling in. I appreciate you carrying the weight of this. Why don't you close with any final thoughts and wrap us up here?
All right. Well, I guess that's all I got as far as bets are concerned. I hope everyone has a good week. Listen to the Tour Junkies podcast. David, I hope you have a great vacation. I don't know when this is going to end, but it can't end soon enough. I hope that you've had a great time. I feel like your wife is probably just beside you. I want to say hello to her. She is a lovely, lovely bride of yours. And there she is, falling asleep. And David, you're such a good dude. I love you, and I love everyone in America that's listening to this. Hope everyone has a great tournament. May your screens be green. I'm out.
See ya.